Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Saeed El Haddad. Uh, in this lab, I will walk you through the 13 Cisco router basic commands. So I'll go step by step. The 13 commands needed to configure in Cisco routers. And by the way, almost all those commands are also required or needed for Cisco switches. So we're going to start step by step. All right. What I did over here ahead of the time, I kind of dragged the devices that were configured, and then right here I typed all the commands needed all the command needed and steps that I'm gonna need to configure this Cisco router. So we're gonna go task 1, task 2, and every task is broken into steps. The first task is cabling the network. So we're gonna go ahead and cable this networks. All right. So we're gonna click on the cables, all the connections, and I'm gonna go into straight through cables. I'm gonna go from the PC, fast Ethernet, to the switch, fast Ethernet 0. The truth, you can use any open port in the switch if you want. Then we're gonna do the same thing again. We're gonna see the same cable, straight to cable, and we're gonna click on the switch this time. We're gonna use fast Ethernet 02, and we will click on the router, and in this case we're gonna use fast Ethernet. We're gonna use gigabit Ethernet 0, or some routers may have fast Ethernet 0. So I'm gonna use gigabit Ethernet 0 here. So sorry, here when I go down, I think I chose fast Ethernet instead. We can change it once we get there. All right, so we have physically connected router. The next type of connection we're gonna need, because this is how we just did, connect the PC, switch, and a router using straight through cable. The step number 2, connect the PC COM port and the router console port using a console cable. The COM port, also known as RS-232. We're gonna choose the console cables right here. You can see console, and we click on the PC. We choose RS-32, which is a COM port, and we're gonna go straight to the router, and click on the router and use the console port. By the way, we're not gonna do anything to the switch, even though all the steps that we use for routers, they're exactly the same switch you'll use for the switch. But we're gonna focus today on the router. All right, once we did that, now task 2, we're gonna start performing basic configuration of the router. All right, the first step is establish hyperterminal session to a router 1. We're gonna go to the PC, click on the PC, go to terminal, all right? Click on terminal, then hit OK. When you're asked to choose to continue the configuration, hit no, type no, and hit enter. Hit enter again. And now we are at the router configuration. I am going to make this one a little bit small so you can see what am I as we go. All right, a little bit here. All right, so now we did that. We established hyperterminal. We need to enter our privileged exec mode. To enter privileged mode, you type enable, and you hit enter. All right, and you can see that the prompt has changed. Now we're in privileged mode. Next, we need to enter step 3. We need to enter into global configuration mode. How we do that? The command that we use is called config terminal or configure terminal. So here we're going to type configure if you want, space terminal. All right, then we hit enter. One more time. You notice that the prompt changed from a pound sign that was before to router config pound sign. All right, so step number 1. Now step number 4. Step number 4, we need to change the router name, as you could see, to a router 1. You could see over here that the router has just a generic name, router. What if you have dozens of a router? That's going to be a problem. the command to change the the router name is called host name. So I'm going to use this command right here, host name space R1, and we're going to type host name R or RT1 and hit enter. Fair enough. You could see the router name has changed from router to router1. Now this next third command is, it was going to happen is, if you mistype the command, this is step number 5. If you mistype the command, what router is going to do is going to try to look using the DNS, is going to try to resolve this name, and this sometimes it may take a minute or two before you can access your router again. To disable that so you don't waste time, we usually type no IP domain lookup. We do that right there. You're going to type no IP domain, no IP domain dash lookup. All right, fair enough. Once we did that, we're still in the same place. We just disable that lookup. All right. In step number 6, we're going to configure exec mode secured password. There are 2 types of password that you can assign to a Cisco router. There's one that is secured and one that is not secured. Let me show you the one that is not secured. The command is enable password space, and for this case, I'm going to use, if you want, I'm going to use password. Let's use Cisco password if you want. I hit enter. I'm sorry, mistyped it there. The command is enable password. All right, now it took that password. Now why this is not secured? Because anybody that has physical access to this router will be able to see this password in clear text. Let me do example. If I do show run, all right, this is, I'm asking the router to show me all the running configuration. I'll hit enter. Fair enough, you guys could see the router password is right here. That's not a good thing to have, right? Right? You don't want people to be able to see your router. I'm going to go back down. However, there is a more secured password, and that secured password by using something called command called secret. I'll do the same thing, enable, all right, and this time secret, all right, and we're going to type Cisco. I hit enter. Now if I do show run, I want to see the password, and I hit enter. You notice how the secret password is encrypted, is secured, is protected, but the enable password is not. You guys can still see it. All right. All right, so we are step 8 and we configured, I'm sorry, we are step 6 and we just configured the password. Step 8 look like I missed. I'm going to correct it here. Step 8 is really step 7. All right, step 7. In step 7, what are we going to do? Configure the console password. It happened to be if you don't protect your console, anyone can come to your router with his laptop or her laptop, come with the router, use a cable, connect to your router, and now he or she has access to your router. How can we protect against that? We need to protect it by using password. So we're going to go back to the console over here, and here the command to type, the command we're going to need to type is line console. This is right here, step 7. I am right here. We're going to type line space line console if you want. All right, and we need to specify what console is number 0. We'll hit enter, and what password you want to use. The command to set up the password is password space. In this case, I'm going to use Cisco as a password, and I'm going to hit enter. And then the third command is log in. What are you doing by log in? You're telling your Cisco, your router, I am going to use this password for anybody that tried to log into the router using a console port. We'll hit enter. All right. Now we're going to type exit so we can exit from that line console. I'll type exit and hit enter. All right. Step number 8. In step number 8, what I'm going to do all the way down here. It's going to go all the way down. So I'm just going to keep steps as they are. It says step number 8, but it's number 9, but it's number 8. We need to set up what we call virtual terminal line. What is a virtual terminal line? Virtual terminal line is used when somebody trying to access the router from remote by either using telnet or using SSH, telnet or SSH. And that's most of the time, 90% of the cases, you're not sitting in front of your router, you're connecting to your router from remote. So how can we do that? I'm going to bring this one a little bit down so we can see everything as we go. All right, so how we do that? The way we do that, I'm bring again a little bit more. All right, the way we do that, all right, and I was here, we're going to configure, we did the line console, the VTY. Again, we're going to go back to the console configuration, and the command we're going to need is called line space VTY 0 to 5. What this command is saying, I want you to enable and protect up to 5 connections to the router. We'll hit enter. Then I'm going to type in the command password, and the password is Cisco if you want. I am using the same password, just you can type Cisco VTY if you want. So we know this is for VTY. Hit enter. And then you type login the same way we did for line console. Hit enter. All right. So now what we need to do, we need to exit. We just configured, we protected the console. We protect remote access. We need to exit from here by typing exit. And now we need to configure the router interface. Like I said, this router, I put this lab for the switch, and I'm doing it for the router. So instead of configuring a fast Ethernet, I am going to correct this one. By the way, I'm going to put a Giga Ethernet. The reason why the router does not have a fast Ethernet, or I didn't add it, all right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do interface G0/0 instead of using F0. If I did F0, it's going to do a fast Ethernet, but I don't want to configure fast Ethernet because I don't have one. So I'm going to do the gigabit instead. All right, I'm going to hit enter. Now you can see I am at the interface configuration. So I need to go ahead and type the command. I need to assign the next thing. I need to go ahead and assign the gigabit Ethernet an IP address. How we do that? Right here, I'll type IP address space 192.168.1.1 space 255.255.255.0. So I gave the router the gigabit interface. I'm giving it the IP of 192.168.1.1 and the subnet mask 255.255. All right, go ahead and hit enter. All right, what happened if you don't type in a command that this gigabit as it is off? If you assign the IP and you never bring that interface up, it will always remain down, means off. So to bring it up, the command is called no shut down. You're going to see as soon as I type this command, the interface will come up, and this side, let me minimize it. You see how it is red? It will turn green. All right, so go ahead and hit enter. Scroll all the way down again so I can finish the command. I'd hit enter, and as soon as I hit enter, you can see LAN protocol coming up, and the physical interface is coming up. If I minimize here, you guys see it turns green, and this side of the switch is conversion, and soon everything is going to turn green. We'll bring back the console again. Next thing I need to do, we did that, we need to exit from here by hitting enter and type and now if you would turn off this router, you're going to lose every configuration that you did so far. How you save your configuration in Cisco router? By typing this command at the step 13, which is copy running -config startup -config, or in short, you can type copy run to start. So I'm gonna do copy running configuration to startup configurations, and hit enter, and it asks you where you want to, what file you want to name it. We're going to keep the default place and the default file name. We're going to hit enter. Now the router has been configured and has an IP address. And if you look down here, it's all green. Now, next step, what we need to do, we need to remove the console cable, and supposing now we're going to take the router and put it back in the closet where it's supposed to be. I am going to move this cable by clicking here, hit no here, no, and click on the console. All right, now I just move that cable. I need to test connectivity between this PC and this router. By the way, you may ask yourself why you didn't do anything to the switch. By default and out of the box, Cisco switches will work just fine. You don't have to do anything to them. All right, so let's go on. Before we can test connectivity, you're going to see that this computer, as it is, this PC, we're going to go to IP configurations, and you see that does not have an IP address. So what do we need to do? We need to give it an IP address. Give it 192.168.1.1, and I'll subnet mask. What just happened here? I'll do it again. 192.168.1.1, and the subnet mask is to something is happening. I'll do it again. The IP address is 192.168.1.1, and the subnet mask is, I'm not sure why it's doing this. I'm going to put it here and then bring it back here. There's a little glitch that is happening over here. 192.168.1.1. I'm going to use my, something is happening. So I'm going to do, something is happening in this computer. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring another computer just to make sure. Bring another generic computer over here. And what I'm going to do, use a cable, straight to a cable, and I'm going to connect it to the port, any port. All right. Once I do that, it's convergent. Then I'm going to go ahead and give it an IP address. All right. 192.168.1.1, and this one has 255. Then once I do that, I'm going to close. So I'm going to do so now. I'm going to wait for this conversions to finish. Takes a little time, and this one is going to turn green. I'm going to go see that this. And I'm sorry, I missed. I did not configure something important. The default gateway. The default gateway, as you're going to see, is the IP address that we assigned to the router. I need 192.168.1.1. All right, I did that. So I'm going to hit close here, and the next thing I want to add, this is going to help you so you can see everything here. So what I did here for gigabit 0/0, all right, we configure the interface that I chose is gigabit /0. I gave it an IP address, which is 192.168.1.1, and I give it a subnet mask, which is 255.255.255.0, and a router does not get a default gateway, especially this router right here. Then the PC here, the PC I gave it the interface that I use, the only one is fast Ethernet, or what can call it fast Ethernet if you want. Fast Ethernet, fast Ethernet, and the IP that I gave it, it's 192.168.1.10, and the subnet mask SM that I gave it, it's 255.255.255.0, and of course we give it default gateway, DG for default gateway, and the default gateway was the router IP address, which is 192.168.1.1. Okay, then you hit escape here. I'll move this one a little bit up so you can see. So this is what was assigned this router, and this is what was assigned this, what do you call it? By the way, if I want to put it the Cisco way, I'm going to put this one F0/0. It's only one interface that it does have, which is fast Ethernet 00. All right, now let's go ahead and test the connectivity. How I test it, we're going to test it by using ping. So this is the last one right here. After that, you save, you remove the cable, test connectivity by pinging 192.168.1.1. So I click on the PC over here. and I go to command prompt over here and type ping space 192.168.1.1. Now, if everything is fine, what you're going to see that the router will reply, all right? If not, it will say unreachable or give us any other kind of errors. Hit enter, ping in, and it's replying. That means we have connectivity between the router and the PC. And we're going to go ahead and stop this now. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop this one now.